Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people for your Tuesday, February the 13th. We're going to start off talking about Salt Lake City. Yep, Salt Lake City in the news yet again. They are going to host LA against Vegas in a preseason game. Of course, for LA, they're also going to be in Quebec City for two preseason games. So that's going to be interesting, right? Going from one location to another that is on the radar potentially for relocation slash expansion. So yeah, Salt Lake City gets a preseason game, and we'll see what happens between now and then. If they're going to be more than just a city hosting a neutral site game, or if they're going to be a future site for a team that's in the league currently, or a new team. We'll see how that expansion talk all ends up working out. But feels like there's more attention being paid to Salt Lake City getting a game this year than there was last year. Pelche, his return to the lineup for the Calgary Flames was sadly a short one. And it looked like after the hit from Trouba last night that he re-injured his left shoulder. That's how it looked. He tried during a TV timeout to stretch it out, go out on the ice, and it wasn't going to work. So I have not seen an update on how long Pelche is going to be out, but if it's the same injury he's been dealing with, that's not great news for the Flames. Pelche was seen as potentially being a big boost to this team this season, and injuries have just kept him out. So we haven't been able to see what impact he could have for the Calgary Flames. Don Granato says that Owen Power's out at least a week. He got hurt in practice yesterday. They're still not saying much about what the injury is, of course. But the fact that he's going to be out at least a week, combined with them losing Samuelson for the rest of the season, and just all the things that influence Buffalo teams and all that. I feel bad for Buffalo fans. I do. I really, really do. But yeah, they're going to be without Power for at least a week. We'll see how long he ends up being out and whether anybody else jumps up and grabs onto this opportunity and proves themselves. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Owen Power being out. Dadonov, and I did put his full name because otherwise it looks like the Power's out for at least a week and people Buffalo will be like, where did our Power go? All right, now Dadonov. He's out indefinitely. Lower body fracture. I don't think I've ever seen that as a description of what somebody has. So broken leg, broken ankle, broken foot. It's a lower body fracture. Hip. No idea. Anyways, whatever's going on with Dadonov, it's going to keep him out indefinitely. And when I hear indefinitely at this time of year, I think, well, probably not coming back for at least the rest of the regular season, and then it's a matter of whatever Dallas does in the playoffs and how the timeline all measures out. Dadonov's been pretty good for them lately. They're going to miss him. But this is a team that's been dealing with injuries on and off all season, and so it's going to be up to guys from within the organization to step in and do what Dadonov was doing. But yeah, hopefully he's not out that long, but again, it doesn't look promising. Lower body fracture. At least it's singular. At least it's not like lower body fractures. At least it's not like, yeah, he's just a mess from the waist down. So either way, hopefully Dadonov's not out that long. Boone Jenner. So this is where you get into the silly season, right? So this is why I don't really get into the whole trade speculation because it gets kind of crazy. And you'll see like one reporter say, hey, I think this guy's available. And then another reporter will pick up on it. Yeah, if this guy's available, what do you think he can get? And then before you know it, it becomes full-blown. So there's a lot of talk about this player. You're never really quite sure where it started. So Boone Jenner, as the noise has been going around, is a player who would have some value if Columbus said, hey, everybody's available. But Boone Jenner says he wants to stay. He wants to help turn things around. He wants to help get this team back into the playoffs. He's the captain of the team and all. And I don't think trading Jenner would make a lot of sense for Columbus. There are definitely some players that if they can move contracts or they can move certain players, I think would benefit the team short term and long term. I would not put Jenner on that list. So we'll see what they do, and we'll see whether or not publicly stating I want to stick around, if that's going to influence Kekalainen's plans or not. Jarmo's got quite the job ahead of him here, trying to turn this around after in the offseason, making moves that he felt was going to turn things around. And again, the question then becomes one of, so how much longer is Kekalainen going to be the general manager with Columbus? But at any rate, it looks like Jenner wants to and is likely to stick around. So getting into the silly season again, it's being reported that Jacob Markstrom was asked to waive his no-movement clause to go to New Jersey. He told the Flames he would be willing to be traded to the New Jersey Devils. The Flames then had discussions with the Devils. Those discussions fell off. So the trade didn't go through. It does not mean that Markstrom may not end up being a Devil. And the last couple of Flames broadcasts, I've heard Greg Millen complaining that, how could they even think about moving Markstrom? He's playing the best hockey of his career right now. That's the best time to trade Markstrom if your team's not going to be a cup contender or win a Stanley Cup. Markstrom is, I believe, 32, about to turn 33. Could actually be 34. In fact, let me just go ahead and do a quick check. Yeah, he turned 34 on January 31st. So this is why the Calgary Flames would want to move Markstrom now, because he's 34. He has a $6 million cap hit through 2026. This is the highest his value is going to be. The goaltending market's pretty hot. So that's why you would look to move Markstrom. Yes, Markstrom's playing great. Vladar, who's currently hurt, playing pretty well this year too. And Wolf looks like he's ready for NHL work. The Flames do not look like they're going to be a cup winner this year. And there are teams that would definitely be interested in Markstrom. Markstrom's playoff numbers are pretty good in his career. He had that good run with Vancouver back in 2020. So I can totally understand why the Devils would be interested in Markstrom. I can understand why the Flames would say, hey, if we can make this work. So I would not be surprised to see Markstrom get moved. I wouldn't be surprised to see if it was the Devils that maybe Vanacek would go the other way, because then you'd have Vanacek, Vladar, and Wolf, and then at the end of the year, you can clear one of those contracts out and have Wolf as your full-time battery tandem mate. Or maybe it's a three-way deal. Maybe you pick up Vanacek's rights and trade him somewhere else. But either way, there's that speculation, see? And then it becomes, oh, well, this is what... Anyway, so we'll see what happens with Markstrom, but at this stage... he is still a Calgary Flame. I do have two Flames magnets because I felt like these are two completely different issues and I should talk about them separately. So let me know your thoughts. As a Flames fan, do you want to see Markstrom moved or do you not? Because, again, to me, I totally understand why the Flames would look to move him right now. Value's never going to be higher. He's 34 years of age, and you need to get a little bit younger in net. Arvidsson is close to a return for LA. Of course, with Victor Arvidsson, you always got to kind of hold your breath and hope that he's not going to get hurt again before the end of the season. But the Kings tweeting out some pictures today, and Arvidsson being one of the pictures. There's been a lot of talk about Arvidsson. I would not be surprised to see him playing in their next game, which is tonight in Buffalo, just because of the way they tweeted it out, and he's clearly at practice. If he doesn't play tonight in Buffalo, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't play the next game. But I have not at this point seen officially word that he's coming back, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does. Jeannot returns tonight for the Tampa Bay Lightning against the Boston Bruins. He was taken off injured reserve on, I believe it was Thursday, so he's ready to return to the lineup tonight. We'll see what his toughness, his sandpaper, and a little bit of offensive game there as well, what that does against Boston. Connor Timmins, if not for bad luck, he wouldn't have any luck this season, would he? He's out indefinitely as mononucleosis, and people chuckle about mononucleosis, but I know from experience of somebody in my family that had it, it's not necessarily a kissing disease. You can get that other ways. But at any rate, no, I never had it. But I do know from watching a family member go through it, it really saps your strength. And so Timmins is out indefinitely. And it is one of those weird things. You can have it for a couple of weeks. You might have it for months. It's just, there's no way to know how long you're going to have that and what that's going to do to your strength and whatnot. So Timmins is out. He probably won't be doing any workouts while he's dealing with mono. If he does, then, more power to him. But it's not going to be easy. Martin Jones is out tonight. Doesn't sound like it's anything major, but Hildeby is expected to be recalled before tonight's game. Samsonov is going to get the start for the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. Giordano's returning to the lineup, as well as David Kampf. So Kampf was seen as being out for probably a week, and then he'd be day-to-day, and sure enough, he's back. So that timeline checks out. Giordano being in the lineup, it's important because they're without Timmins. We know they're without Riley. Riley was supposed to have the in-person hearing today, but a snowstorm in New York has forced that to become a virtual hearing. And we'll have some idea for how many games he's going to be out before 4 o'clock my time, 7 o'clock Eastern. They have to because the Toronto Maple Leafs are playing tonight. So we'll see how many games he gets, and we'll see what the Toronto Maple Leafs blue line looks like. They definitely need to make a deal. Brad Treliving needs to get that blue line in order and maybe pick up a goaltender, depending on how long Wool's going to be out. We aren't hearing any updates on Wool other than he's progressing, but not really a timeline. Two players on waivers today. Zach McEwen did clear from yesterday. Tyler Pitlick waived by the New York Rangers, and Luke Philp waived by the Chicago Blackhawks. It'd be interesting to see if Tyler Pitlick would get picked up by the Chicago Blackhawks, because then you could have Tyler and Rem playing together. I don't think they've played together before at the National Hockey League level, but at any rate, we'll see what happens there. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event that you have thus far. It's forgivable. Just fix it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.